Good evening and welcome to the November 19th, 2024 City Council meeting. I am calling this meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to get started with our invocation that will be led by our City Attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
You meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, as well as the rights and needs of both the individual and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations on our efforts here today. This we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, Tom. Next item on our agenda is the Oldsmar Open Forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and be limited to a 5-minute comment on any subject that is not scheduled for a public hearing. The open forum will conclude at 7:30. If you filled out a speaker card, please hand it to the city clerk. Filling out a speaker card is not mandatory, and you will still be able to give an opportunity to speak. When speaking, please state your name and address for the record. And we have Tom O'Shea. You want to come up first, please?
Hi, Tom O'Shea, 208 Lake Charles Court. I'm up here because I got my property tax bill in early this month, and I feel like you guys are not charging me enough for the services you guys provide. Because top rate services, and I feel like I should be paying more, especially in light of, I think it's agenda number 14 is adjustment to the budget, and with the hurricane, I'm sure we're using a lot of money, and I think we should build up our reserves for the next couple of years too. So I'm okay with you guys raising my taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. First time I ever heard that, but thank you. All right, we have Julie. Julie, I don't want to say your name wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's Neiman.
Thank you.
So as you said, my name is Julie Neiman. I'm with the Breakfast Express. I, unfortunately, when I was finding a homestead 13 years ago, knew very little about Oldsmar, so I am not a resident. My husband and I have been attending the Community United Methodist for the last couple of years, and in that time, we have really grown to love and help support the Oldsmar community as such. So unfortunately, I'm too cheap to buy a house right now, so, but we have been trying to open our food truck that we had here during the hurricane. And I am told that because there is no rules allowing it, that it's not allowed. So I am here to ask for your help in creating the rules so that we may continue to service your community. Sorry, I'm nervous, it's intimidating.
You're fine.
I know that there is a food truck up in the Nielsen courtyard with very similar setup to what we would have. So the sewer would go into the sewer, the water lines would flow in freely. Would be hooked to power, so we would not be affecting the Oldsmar air. So if it's just amending the current guidelines that say that we can be hooked to a microbrewery, could just be added to a laundromat, or we can help you in whatever you need to know about food trucks to create a whole new amendment so that when a food truck wants to come in, you don't have to listen to them speak every Tuesday meeting. So that is what I have come here and asked all of you to help us do so that we, again, can continue to serve your community. Not only as a profit, obviously every business needs to make a profit, but also so that the church, Oldsmar Cares, can send people that are in need down to the food truck, and we would continue to service them as Christ taught us to do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak up to the council? Anybody else like to be heard? Come on up.
Good to see you, Mayor Dan. Looks like Christmas is getting close by the beard, by the looks of it.
It's driving me crazy.
It's still a little too warm. But my name is John Durell. I live on Lemonwood Drive. I am an economist, and I love Oldsmar. So I'm going to start out with the good. She mentioned the churches. I forgot to mention the churches in earlier speeches. They came out and they really showed Christ's love, and they modeled that in the community after the hurricanes. So I should have said that earlier. But Harborside Church showed up huge in my neighborhood. Countryside Church showed up huge. And local businesses as well, like giving out food. And like literally there was a food truck right around the corner from my house, right at the entrance of Harbor Palms. Yeah, give them a hand. I mean, they deserve it. You said, I need 10 meals for me and the people cleaning out my house. And they're like, 10? Fine, cool. So little things. When I talk to residents in the community, ironically, food trucks does come up. So let's just make it happen. Let's make it happen. No one would be hurt by a few food trucks in Oldsmar. It'd make it more cool, a more cool vibe. So also wanted to mention, so 2 weeks ago at the Wednesday meeting for Stanberry and the development, Andrew, you asked a very good question to Val. And you asked, what are the residents' problems with the development? I'm paraphrasing because I didn't get a chance to look it up exactly. And then, but that is a good question because we've talked about this ad nauseum. Some people are for it, some people are against it. Val gave a good answer. She spoke from the heart, as she always does, and spoke at how the residents feel. And the residents feel like they own the property for a good reason, because they do own the property. It's public property owned by the residents of Oldsmar. And I just wanted to add to that, it's not a debate of do some people like it and some people don't like it. They don't like it from the surveys. Stanberry got the 5.9 out of 10, and that's an F. So the people do not want the apartments. They don't want high-density apartments. They do want more entertainment, more local businesses. I get a lot of feedback about just more things to do in Oldsmar, and apartments never comes up. And so I got an F from the people in the research that was conducted. And interestingly enough, the research was actually, the group that did it was actually quite biased. Because when you read it, it has a column for likes. What did they like about the project? So you would think logically the second column would be dislikes. But it doesn't have that. It just has likes, and it's still got an F. So I'm interested to know how much we paid the consultant for that subpar work. I mean, I do research all day, and I could come up with something better than that in an hour. At the end of the day, I'm always asking people, what do you want? What would you improve, and what's great about Oldsmar? And I keep getting the feedback, people want Oldsmar to be better, not bigger. Apartments and traffic is just bigger. It's not creative. It doesn't benefit the current residents of Oldsmar. People want more to do, and they want more fun things in Oldsmar. And, mixed use strip mall with high density apartments is not what people want. So people want Oldsmar to be better, not bigger. And if that involves a food truck for someone who's really trying to help the community, I hope that we can get that done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Is there anyone else like to be heard? Anybody else like to speak to the council? All right, with that, I'm going to close the open forum. Next item on our agenda is the community minute, and that'll be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Oldsmarstrong.com for resources and recovery assistance and information pertaining to community efforts. The city has created this specific site that includes these tools and more. Visit oldsmarstrong.com for details. free Thanksgiving dinner. The Oldsmar Support Services Alliance is hosting a free Thanksgiving dinner for those impacted by Hurricane Helene and Milton on Thursday, November 28th on Thanksgiving, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Community Church in Manahan Hall. Thank you to the wonderful generosity of Three Brothers Pizza for providing the Thanksgiving meals. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is approval of additional new agenda items. We have 2, 5, 13, 15, and 16. I will entertain a motion.
Moved.
Second.
I have a motion, the second. Do we have any other discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the Council Manager Award, and I will be presenting that. Testing, test. Does it work? All right, we can hear me. Thank you. Rhonda, do you want to come up here with me, please? So I am honored and humbled. Yes, thank you. I am humbled and honored to offer the Council Manager Award for 2024 to Rhonda Dunkley. I'm so excited for you, and I've got some things I want to share with the crowd. Is that all right? Chad, her husband, and Rhonda moved from London, Ohio. They moved there in 1998. Do I got that right?
I did. He moved there in 78, 79.
So you were there before her. Okay. They met online and they realized that they lived just a few blocks from each other. They actually met in March of 1999 and they got engaged in August of 1999, and they didn't waste any time. They got married in April of 2000. They have 4 lovely kids, and I believe they're all here. Their son Billy is 22. They have daughter Katie, 21, and son Colby, 18. And they have their son Tony, 17. Glad you're all here. Thank you all for coming out. They dreamed to move to the wonderful sunshine state of Florida since they were married. They came on vacation in the June of 2021, and they decided to do it. And 3 months later, they rented in Dunedin. They found their house in Eastlake Oaks, where we both live right now. They got an offer. They got an offer on Christmas of 2021. They accepted it, and they closed on it in January of 2022. Moved to Eastlake Oaks. Well, I met Rhonda in 2022 at our block party. Eastlake Oaks has a block party. We've had a block party every year since around 2010. We wanted to give back to the community in our HOA, so we started a block party. The fire department comes. And in 22, Rhonda, she just jumped right in and wanted to help. And we were like, who is this person? Well, at that time, Sarah George was running the block party, but Sarah decided after that block party she wanted to move on to something else. And then I asked Rhonda to jump in, and she wasn't really sure, and then she did. She jumped in, and then this year we had the most residents ever because of your social media skills. I believe we had people go door to door with door hangers, and you really changed the whole culture of Eastlake Oaks. You really did. You changed the whole thing, and the people loved the block party this year. It was actually one of the best. Her and Nicole, another board member, they got food from all local restaurants that donated food. The fire department comes out. The kids go inside the fire truck. They love it. So, another thing she did, which really made me excited, I didn't want to forget this. She took over the vendors. She called all our vendors, and she said, okay, well, thank you for that quote. She went and saved our neighborhood HOA thousands of dollars by getting lower bids from other vendors for the tent, the chairs, and all the other stuff that she needed. So you really jumped in and did a great job. So then she even went a little bit further. After Hurricane Helene, Rhonda wanted to help our community. And this is really touching. She started a group, Hurricane Helene, Milton, Oldsmar, Florida Help in surrounding areas. I'll never forget it. I was at home, and she texted me, and she said, Dan, you got to check this out. I said, I started this group, and I've got these people all need help. They all need help. And I said, well, I signed up for it, and I just watched this page grow. And it just grew to 1,300 people. Would you mind, please, sharing with everyone that experience? Because it's mind-boggling.
Yes. I mean, I was just amazed to watch it. Like, I made the group on a Friday night, and then I woke up Saturday and it's doubled from what I had, and it just kept doubling and doubling and doubling. I don't want to take all the credit, because yes, I created that group, but every single person in there, whether it was taking clothes, taking food, serving food, doing somebody's laundry, I had people offering to do people's laundry, you know, taking and tearing out drywall and stuff. Those were all individual puzzles pieces that are coming together. They're going to make Oldsmar back to where we were, even stronger. And Chad and I are just really grateful that we've been able to meet so many people through this that we can actually call family now, and we're glad that Oldsmar is our family.
Tell them a little bit about Santa. You got Santa coming to
I
town.
do. So I started a couple of new things within the, East Lake Soap. So Santa comes, it's actually my hair, but Santa comes, and I have a photographer that comes, and we give candy and dogs for dog treats and stuff, and kids can come to that. And then I started to the Yard of the Month. So we have full Yard of the Month, and they'll go in for a little draw and stuff. So.
Thank you. Great job. You're awesome. Yeah, so this is your second year for the Santa thing, because I remember you started last year, and then you just started the Garden of the Yard of the Month about a couple months ago. So she keeps coming up with these great ideas, and then she keeps texting me like, "I want this." I'm like, you know what?
Ohio, and I just want to bring it here.
And what it has done in our neighborhood is she has actually built this culture of our residents who have now all become friends with each other, and it builds security.
I feel like they can come to me
And
with questions.
she puts baskets on her front porch, and people put gifts in there so she can donate to other people. I mean, it's just our neighborhood is really a really unique community to live in. And for me, being involved in it since 2009, I never dreamed that you as an individual could do something like that for our community. Oh yeah, that was the last thing, but you can, that's fine. So we had our board meeting, I believe it was November 5th, it was Monday night. Unfortunately, I guess one of your sons got in a little mess, so you had to run out. And the board members voted Rhonda in as our vice president of our HOA. So she's doing a great job. So with great pride, great honor, it gives me chills to give you this 2024 Oldsmar City Council City Manager Award. Congratulations, great job. You want, Ron, come here. Can we get,
Okay. Oh, family, I'm sorry, I'll be up. The kind, so they don't have to be. That's you guys.
See if we can balance out our sides over here.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we get behind them.
Got some line up behind you guys. Give me 1 sec.
Come on, hang on one sec.
yeah, get in here. Yeah,
Stop.
everybody get in. Everyone. Yes, absolutely.
Come on, Tom.
Everyone get
Since
in.
when are you shy?
He's going over the corner.
All right. Here we go. All right. I've got mine. Anybody else?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the business of the quarter. That item is going to be postponed till the December 3rd meeting. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, I have a motion, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is item 3. City Manager Felicia Donnelly will introduce this item.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll let you do it.
So it's the recognition of the Parks and Recreation Department being awarded the 2024 Agency of Excellence Award for Community Building by the Florida Recreation and Park Association. In August 2024, the Parks and Recreation Department was recognized with this award. We were selected over other entries submitted from throughout the state for the prestigious award that factors in various positive community impacts produced by events, activities, and gathering spaces. This is the first time Oldsmar has received this award, and we're very proud of our staff for their dedication and hard work to make Oldsmar such a great place. I want to start off with a video, so hopefully somebody running the IT can.
This year's Agency Excellence Award winner in the Community Building category is Oldsmar Parks and Recreation. The City of Oldsmar's Parks and Recreation Department is an essential pillar in building a strong, vibrant community for its nearly 15,000 residents. The department's dedication to creating recreational opportunities for everyone is evident through its focused programming, events, and facilities, which serve as the lifeblood of the community. Oldsmar's Parks and Recreation Department offers a wide array of programs catering to all ages and interests. For its cherished senior residents, initiatives like the Senior Social Program provide breakfast and foster personal connections to vital social engagement, promoting a sense of belonging and community. Oldsmar's creative residents are engaged through events like its community art exhibits, which showcase the incredible artistic talent within Oldsmar, allowing everyone to share and celebrate their unique skills and creativity. The Parks and Recreation Department also recognizes the opportunity to engage the community through environmental sustainability events, such as the establishment of innovative vertical oyster gardens at R.E. Olds Park in an effort to enhance the quality of Upper Tampa Bay's waters. These initiatives not only seek to improve the local environment, but also bring the community together around the shared goal of creating a more resilient city for the future. Catering to niche interests, the city has invested in the development of specialized facilities that strengthen community bonds through shared activities. Examples include the city's BMX Supercross track, its Lightning-made street hockey rink built in partnership with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the exhilarating zipline aerial course. Created in collaboration with Empower Adventures of Tampa Bay, uniting residents through thrilling experiences. The Parks and Recreation Department is committed to ensuring that Oldsmar's residents' voices are heard through various community engagement initiatives in an effort to enhance the overall quality of life, and strives to foster community spirit and retain its small-town charm while building a strong, interconnected community. At this time, we would like to welcome Oldsmar Parks and Recreation to the front to receive the Agency Excellence Award for Community Building.
That's amazing, Chip. That's got.
Thank you.
I want to hear about that moment.
Well, you find out before you go to the conference.
It's so cool.
However, but when you actually get that call, you're just the exhilaration and the work that's gone into it over the course of the past year from our staff, because that's really who creates these events and these programs. I just get to hold the awards. So, but we're really proud to receive this award, and I'm very proud of the staff that put all the events and the programs together that help build a strong community here in Oldsmar. And it's those guys who deserve the effort. And like I said in the award, this is a big award for us because we go up against cities all over the state, regardless of size. So we're very proud to receive this award based on our efforts. And I do want to thank, again, our Parks and Recreation staff for all they do. And I also want to thank Joan Byrne from our Communication and Marketing and Arts Department, who helped us to produce the documentation to submit the award. She was very instrumental in putting together a great document for us. So I want to thank all of you for your support. And again, thanks to the city and our staff.
That's so cool. Can we get a photo with you holding?
Can we all go down and?
Yeah.
Do I have to take a selfie?
First, no, you don't have to take a selfie.
I'll be the official photographer's assistant tonight. Okay.
Have you been signed off on the training?
No standing on chairs. That's so cool. Keep it there. Keep it there.
Whose good side is their left side or their right side? Okay, we'll get one from both.
You did go to training.
Perfect.
All right. Congratulations. Next item on our agenda is the consent docket. This will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 4, approve minutes of November 5th, 2024 council meeting. Item 5, approve minutes of November 6th, 2024 council work session. Item 6, approve payment of October 2024 legal services to Bartlett, Loeb, Hens, and Thompson, PLLC for Eric Seidel's litigation defense. Item 7, approve payment to legal counsel for October 2024 legal services. Item 8, approve awarding contract to Vortex Services LLC per the same pricing terms and conditions of the HGAC contract number TP07-18. Item 9, approve work order number 4 for environmental monitoring and hydrogeologic services to WSP USA Inc. under the City General Engineering Services Contract 2023-002 RFQ. Item 10, award contract to Musco Lighting for the retrofit of sports lighting on Oldsmar Sports Complex, baseball, softball fields 1, 2, and 7 per the pricing terms and conditions of Sourcewell contract number 041123-MSL. And item 11, approve renewal of Microsoft Enterprise Agreement for Office 365 licenses with SHI International Corporation under the pricing terms and conditions of the Sourcewell contract number 121923-SHI.
Thank you very much. Does anybody wish to pull any items from the consent? No? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is a public hearing, and Tom Trask, our city attorney, will handle that.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing for consideration of approval of a second amended development agreement with S. Rushnell for the city-owned property located adjacent to the library. As some background, the city owns 9.446 acres, more or less, of property, which includes the city library and other parcels between St. Petersburg Drive, State Street, and East Arlington Avenue, located in our community redevelopment area. On October 6, 2020, the City Council authorized the city manager to enter into discussions with Devin S. Rushnell LLC for the purpose of negotiating a development agreement for this city-owned property with the intent of selling 6.2 acres of the parcel for the purpose of developing the site with a mixed-use development containing 82 residential townhomes, 18 of which will have a live-work component. On July 19, 2022, the City Council approved the initial development agreement. In December of 2022, an amended site plan was reviewed by the City Council. Open houses were held in January of 2023, and the proposed amendments were reviewed by the Planning Board and subsequently approved by the Council on April 4th, 2023. Since then, Mr. Rushnell has completed the preliminary engineering and submitted for infrastructure permits. And in January of this year, the City Council approved assignment and assumption contracts from Mr. Rushnell's company to Lennar Homes. In February of this year, the City Council approved an accompanying amendment to the real estate purchase and sales agreement, but the assignment ultimately was not executed. Through this assignment process, it was recognized that some amended or revised terms in the development agreement were necessary. The site revisions were determined to constitute a material change, and therefore we were required to comply with Section 14.7 of the Land Development Code, triggering the initial development approval steps in a revised development agreement. The revisions in the agreement that's in the package are proposed to include the following. Number one, the city manager will have authority to extend the development agreement for a period of up to 180 days administratively. Number 2, a new Schedule H is provided to clarify more defined schedule of the construction of the project. Number 3 is a site plan is presented clarifying a pavilion instead of a building and to provide a building number identification. Number 4, the homeowners association documents for the property will provide for the demolition of any partially completed building or structure upon 30 days' notice to the builder if any building has not had an inspection for 6 months. Mr. Rushnell's company will post a $50,000 cash bond on behalf of the homeowners association at closing to cover the cost of that demolition. Number 5, due to the critical importance of the project's schedule and its completion, the developer shall commence annual payments of $2,430 per unit, for which a certificate of occupancy has not been issued, beginning 60 months from the execution of the development agreement. And that is, of course, subject to state and federal executive order extensions. This obligation will continue each year until all 82 units are completed. On each anniversary of the development agreement execution date, the remaining number of units without a certificate of occupancy will be determined and the corresponding payment amount will be calculated and rendered accordingly. And number 6, it includes specific provisions that refer to the requirements of the Pinellas County Surety Performance Bond and Maintenance Bond requirements as specified in Pinellas County Code of Ordinances, Section 154-264E. We also removed existing 9C, paragraph 9C in the development agreement, and all other provisions that were previously adopted remain unchanged. As this is a city-owned property in the CRA, the city hosted 3 public open houses and an online survey to present the revised essential terms of the development agreement. The majority of the public agreed the proposal should move forward with the amended site plan, revised essential terms, and the related development agreement. Should the city council approve this second amended development agreement, tonight we will hold a second public hearing on December 3rd, 2024, here in Council Chambers, 101 State Street West, here in Oldsmar at 7 p.m. The recommended motion is to approve the second amended development agreement with Devin S. Rushnell, LLC, for the city-owned property located adjacent to the library. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this item? Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion.
Moved.
Second.
Motion in the second. Any other discussion or any questions for Tom? All right, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Graber,
Yes.
Councilmember Tadaszewski,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Siraki.
Yes.
With 5 votes for and 0 against, the first reading of the amended development agreement with Devin S. Rushnell for the city-owned property located adjacent to the library passes with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. Item 13.
So item number 13 on the agenda is adopt resolution 2024-51, adopting the ceremonial items policy. I'll go ahead and read that resolution. This is resolution 2024-51, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting a ceremonial items policy and providing for an effective date hereof. That was a reading of Resolution 2024-51 by title only. As some background, you remember that during the September 24th council work session, you provided some guidance to the city clerk as to what this policy should include, and that policy that's being proposed is attached to the resolution. I'm sure that Kristen will be happy to answer any questions, and I would be happy to as well.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion to second. Any questions for the city clerk? Great job.
Thank you for putting it in writing.
Thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thanks, that's all I have.
Okay, next item is item 14, and that will be taken care of by our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 14 is adopt resolution 2024-50, revising the budget for fiscal year 23-24. Attached is a resolution 2450, a revision of the annual budget for fiscal year 23-24. The general fund requires adjustment at this time. In the general fund, $117,000 of contingency reserve will be utilized to cover emergency pay related to the Hurricane Helene response, as well as accounting for employee annual leave accruals in fire, rescue, library, and facilities. In addition, fire rescue has requested $22,000 to cover the increased maintenance cost of vehicles, equipment, and Fire Station 54. So I'll read the resolution. Resolution 2024-50, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024, authorizing the city manager and the Director of Administrative Services to revise the existing budget. Whereas the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida has approved a municipal budget for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024. And whereas the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida is desirous of amending this budget by revising various revenues and expenditures, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, that the following revenues and expenditures be revised in the following manner based on the review of the budget. Section 1, the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida has hereby revised the existing budget for fiscal year 23-24 in accordance with the Schedule A as attached. Section 2, the resolution will take immediate effect upon passage. Pass and adopt by the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, this 19th day of November. That was a reading of Resolution 2024-50.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 15.
Item number 15 is to approve and authorize the mayor to execute the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management Public Assistance Subgrant Agreement Z4392, which supports DR 4828. Hurricane Helene, federal and state reimbursement for expenses occurred during Hurricane Helene. On September 26, 2024, Hurricane Helene struck the state of Florida. The City of Oldsmar, by and through its actions in preparation for, response during, and cleanup after this event, incurred considerable expenses which are eligible for reimbursement through FEMA and the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Programs that are authorized by their respective governments to assist public agencies in reimbursing some of the costs associated with the emergency response. The attached subgrant agreement is the basis for the overarching reimbursement program and provides for partial reimbursement for jurisdiction-wide emergency protective measures as well as citywide debris removal. Subsequent amendments may be submitted in future council agendas if required. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. I need a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 16.
Item number 16, approve and authorize the mayor to execute the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management Public Assistance Subgrant Agreement Z4398, which supports DR 4834 Hurricane Milton, federal and state reimbursement for expenses incurred during Hurricane Milton. This is the same agreement that was just considered in the previous item.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 17.
Item number 17 is to request council approval to authorize the city manager to sign grant agreements with the State of Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the purchase of park maintenance equipment, trail material, and park amenities. The Parks Division has various projects scheduled for the 24-25 fiscal year, which include purchasing a batwing mower, trail shell replacement, and replacing park amenities such as water fountains, picnic tables, and trash cans. In August of this year, the city applied for and was later awarded 3 grants from FDEP through the Florida Trail Go Local Trail Management Grant Program in the amount of $61,000 to help offset the cost of these purchases. The funds from this grant will assist the city with the upkeep of parks and trail system as well as upgrades to amenities. So the city was awarded $61,000. The total expenditures that were already scheduled were $124,000. Staff recommends approval.
I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is great news. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 18.
Item number 18 is approve USA BMX State Series event agreement with the American Bicycle Association to host the USA BMX State Series event on February 7th through 9th, 2025. This item recommends a consideration of the approval of the agreement between the City of Oldsmar and the American Bicycle Association to host the state series. The city has hosted this event in alternate years and is scheduled to host again in 2025. It's anticipated there's going to be approximately 1,000 athletes competing with an attendance of approximately 13,000 people over the weekend, traveling from across the state and nationally. The agreement's been reviewed by the city attorney. Staff recommends approval. The expenses are estimated to be about $18,000 from the city. That's for portable toilets, EMS services, and securities. And revenues are expected to be about $21,000. That's parking, rider participation fees, and food vendors. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion in the second. Any other discussion on BMX?
Nope.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're moving along. Item 19.
Item 19 is approve the special event application fee waiver request and use of the city logo for Oldsmar Friends of the Arts Mardi Gras event to be held on February 4th, 2025. On Tuesday, February 4th, Oldsmar Friends of the Arts will host a Mardi Gras themed fundraiser at Veterans Memorial Park. Oldsmar Friends of the Arts is a valued nonprofit organization that has provided support to Opal Theater and other performing arts programs in Oldsmar. As a nonprofit, they rely on fundraising events to further their efforts to support the performing arts. This item requests a fee waiver amount of $500, and this is consistent with the special event guide. Oldsmar Friends of the Arts requests that the city waive the fees. All external costs, including utility fees of $120, will be Oldsmar Friends of the Arts' responsibility. In addition, the city will be recognized as a sponsor at the appropriate level and may use the city logo to recognize such sponsorship. A copy of the application is attached, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Gonna be a busy week. We've got Mardi Gras, and then don't forget, Oldsmar Cares Gala is that Thursday, so Tuesday, Thursday.
Busy.
It's gonna be busy.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Felicia, for that. A lot of items. Next is City Clerk, Kristen Garcia. You have anything for us?
I do not have any items this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Next item is our City Council comments, and we're going to start with Vice Mayor Steve Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have much tonight, just to say happy Celebrate Oldsmar weekend and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. But that's all I had, Mayor. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Katie Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I also wanted to mention that Celebrate Oldsmar is this weekend. I wanted to, warn everybody that, there is no carnival. I know. And there's no fireworks because of damage to the pier. But there are a lot of vendors coming out. We've got a lot of great music acts coming out, including some that were extraordinarily popular last year. So I'm hoping people will still come out and literally celebrate Oldsmar, what we have, even though some has been taken from us. But also, of course, a very happy Thanksgiving. Stop by the Community United Methodist Church if you would like to pick up any donations. I believe November 20th, isn't tomorrow the deadline for? Yeah, tomorrow's the deadline to pick up clothing and different supplies because. Yeah, so the donation center, they got to close it down, get back to some normal operations. So, it's not, hey, I qualify by submitting this picture of my house that was damaged. Just show up. Just show up. Gather it for a friend, for someone that, or if you helped clean up and you need to replace your cleaning supplies. No questions asked. It's just come on in, grab some stuff. It's important to make sure that people are benefiting from what the community has donated. So right across the street from the library, Community United Methodist Church, big sign, it says Hurricane Relief Center.
And they will reopen on December 2nd with reduced hours for household items.
Thank you for that. Also, we are having, well, not I'm going to be there, but the Alliance, some of the members are coordinating a holiday swap and shop, which I think is kind of cool. It's on December 1st at Veterans Park. And what they're going to do is have crafts, activities, treats, and it's encouraged to, bring some of your holiday decorations if you have some to share. And if you don't have any because you lost them in the storm or you can't afford them this year, come on by and swap with somebody or shop with what everybody else has donated, because I know Ginger and I, we cleaned out some Christmas decorations. So, and even if you don't have anything to swap or shop, just show up. It's another one of those events that Nicole Williger has been, helping to coordinate. She is a fearless woman. And so, I'm sure that's going to be a fabulous event, again, at Veterans Park, December 1st. Also, as Rhonda mentioned, and the Women's Club is also collecting blankets for the elderly for the holidays. Really cute, cheap blankets at Walmart. And Rhonda's going to have a basket on her porch that you can drop them in. I think they're only a couple of bucks each. If you're interested in donating, get in touch with anybody from the Women's Club. Rhonda on her page on Facebook, or anybody in the Alliance would know where to direct you. They're also adopting seniors. I think everybody has been adopted, but in case you're curious or you still want to help out, do reach out to her. And we kind of laughed when Tom walked up and said, I'd be happy to pay more taxes for the value of the services that we get in this community. And that's not often. That's pretty rare that we get somebody to make that kind of a statement that they'd be happy to pay more taxes. I have no idea what the financial impact of 2 hurricanes and a flash flood will be on our community. I'm not going to ask our city manager right now, for any numbers. Don't worry, don't panic, Felicia. But as we approve some of these agenda items for, reimbursement or permission to seek reimbursement, and as we start to do budget amendments to reallocate general reserve funds to cover some of the costs of, payroll, these things are going to start rolling in, and they're going to get bigger. And I don't know, and I know that, we'll have our department heads in, and we're going to start our budget process at the beginning of January, essentially. And I don't know what it's going to look like for next year. But I think we need to all be ready for some uncertainty, sure, because I have no idea, and I don't know that we'll know for a number of months, maybe even years, what the true financial impact of these events will have on us as a city. But I do know that Tom brings up a very important point of maintaining reserves, because there's a hurricane season every year, and we haven't had to budget for one every year. Thank goodness we've had some financially prudent city managers and councils that came before us to save these funds. But I think, it's real easy to approve, sign off this, sign off that, but the financial impact of this and what it could do to our capital improvement budget and where we prioritize our money in the future could be impacted for years, maybe even a decade to come, and what we have to choose, because budgeting is choosing. So we might have to prioritize things that aren't as pretty or glamorous. I love grants. Grants are great, but grants also mean we usually have to spend money at the same time. But just something to keep in mind. And in addition to that, I would love to say that the city is returning to normal. We are returning to normal. As we do that, there is continuing information out there about the procedure to work on your house, the procedure to get a permit, who issues the permits, who's cleaning up debris, who's doing, who's responsible for what. A lot of people are, upset. A lot of people are grateful. Thank you, Tom. And I know that there are a lot of people who have expressed that gratitude to city staff, and we appreciate them. I think now, more than ever, as we face a lot of uncertainty financially, and our residents face a lot of uncertainty financially, it's incredibly important that we only transmit to the public and the media information that is accurate. And not just accurate. If the answer is I don't know, it needs to be I don't know. Certainly it cannot be purposeful misinformation or you know, sort of a reckless dealing with true information, because I think it's really dangerous to tell people, you know, it's costing this for the city to clean up, or it's, you're supposed to call, you know, and get your permit for building, you know, down at the county, or, you know, the city of Oldsmar doesn't do this or can't help you with that. If we as a council are to be entrusted with communicating correct information, we need to take that very seriously, or I fear that the city as a whole loses the trust that we have worked so hard to build with this community. And, you know, I'm gonna bring it out, Andrew, I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out. There was, you know, there was a plan for transparency, and I love the transparency plan. I love the Oldsmar Strong website. I love our social media work that we've done. I love the information that we're sharing. And sometimes that answer is, I don't know. And that's okay. I think it's better to say, I don't know, than to say the wrong thing. So with that in mind, I wish all of you a wonderful Thanksgiving. My family, we are going to be crossing off a major bucket list item. We are going to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Right? I'm excited. So we'll be headed out of town on Sunday and then coming back after Thanksgiving. I hope we actually make flights and everything. So I will be there on Friday and Saturday for Celebrate Oldsmar, but then I will be leaving on a jet plane to go see the parade in the freezing cold weather. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe you'll get some snow.
Oh, don't wish that on me.
It always snows. All right, thank you very much. Next is Councilmember Valerie Tadaszewski.
So close.
Also, I'll be down at Celebrate Oldsmar this weekend, so if you see me, come out and say hi. Don't be shy. I'll be down there walking around and just hanging out with my son. He likes to go and listen to all the bands. Congrats to our Parks and Rec Department for their award. I know I get the privilege firsthand. Most people know that I help teach a cardio drumming class, so I get to work firsthand with a lot of your staff, and they are phenomenal. So I'm not surprised that they got an award. They deserve it. Your whole department deserves it. So congratulations. And yeah, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be staying here, nice and toasty in Florida. But I do get to have 3 Thanksgivings, so I'll be tired.
Oh, nice.
Sure.
Yep.
All right,
That's it.
thank you. Councilmember Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. Thank you to the folks coming out tonight, speaking in support of food trucks. I'm sure all of us have had conversations with either people that like the concept or are aspiring vendors or are actual vendors out there and have either made prior attempts to be in the city and wound up elsewhere. So I think that's something that is worthwhile to look into further, and you know, whether we add it as something to the tentative to consider discussion further. You know, there's obviously a lot to work through for staff to figure out all the things that need to be changed if we were to proceed with that. But I do want to say thanks again for coming out, because I know it's the first time somebody's actually been here to, you know, advocate on behalf of all those folks out there doing that. I believe it. So again, thank you. Right now I'm dying on the vine. Sure. So I wanted to just comment about the couple of recent work sessions we had. For those that presumably more that are watching tonight's meeting versus those work sessions over the last couple of weeks. The one that we had was about our downtown development efforts. And I just wanted to say thank you to Stanberry for coming here, because they honestly didn't have to. They could have said, well, this is our proposal, take it or leave it. They had the opportunity, as one of our other residents pointed out earlier in the meeting, to witness some good discussion amongst us to get a broader understanding of where all our positions are that are hopefully decently representative of our entire population. So I just, again, wanted to say thanks to Stanberry for that. I thought it was a productive meeting, rather efficient as well, talking through the issues that we perceive to be out there or understand it as they are. And then also related to the other work session we had discussing fee waivers for special events, I wanted to give a shout out to Chip. Didn't know what to expect coming into the meeting other than what I knew I personally wanted to talk about. So having that set up in a better fashion to kind of hit all the important points to make that a more refined process moving forward was, I'm sure everybody enjoyed that and made it an even quicker and efficient meeting than the work session before that. Let's see. Okay, so a couple of final things then. Councilmember Gannon, you brought up something that I wanted to touch on too tonight as it relates to transparency and factual information. It's something I can't ignore. So basically to provide a little bit more further context for the folks that are watching, is there were stories recently that came out in the media related to our efforts to get our city cleaned up. And the first article that was published a couple of days ago in the Tampa Bay Times, the title was, Oldsmar enters deal with Pinellas to help with debris removal and home inspections, which I believe was more or less picked up based on our actions at our last council meeting on November 5th, where we adopted an interlocal agreement to basically get things moving, right? We were in a bind with trying to get contractors out here, and the environment in which the rates were changing rather rapidly was something that we needed to basically piggyback off the county on in order to do so. There was a pretty significant, I think, misreporting in that article, and in and of itself, that may have been nothing, right? The news doesn't always get information right, and corrections get issued as they are needed. However, then the next day, which was yesterday, there was a second news story that came out from WTSP, and the title of that says, Oldsmar mayor says debris contractor jilted them, but agreement with the county saves them money, which is kind of regurgitating the story from the day prior, which is that second statement there, the agreement, the county saves them money, is not accurate. And the reason I bring that up is back in early October, we had an emergency meeting where we adopted a resolution that was declaring a state of emergency for Hurricane Milton. We would have done a very similar thing in September for Hurricane Helene. One of those sections in that resolution says, Section 8 says, the authority is designated to the city manager to serve as the city's spokesperson, presumably about everything related to the hurricanes, both Milton and Helene. Then, going backwards from that, is back in July of this year, we adopted and revised our council rules of procedure. And it's section 13 of the city council rules of procedure. The title is City Council Contact with the Media. Council members are frequently contacted by the media for background, quotes, and interviews. The city manager is also a frequent contact and shall manage the staff's contact and communications with the media. Following are the city council's general policies for conduct with the media. Section B states, use a designated spokesperson for the city's official position on an issue. When the city's position on an issue is requested, it is essential that a central focal point for information be established. The city manager or his or her designee is designated for such contact. So that's just in the broad scope of general media inquiries. The city can best ensure a clear and consistent message by limiting involvement to a designated or limited number of contacts. So that section in and of itself goes in conflict with the story that was published and the factual issues with the content of that story. Further then, Section D of our council rules of procedures states, guideline for media contacts, what to say. Make sure the information released is factual, accurate, timely, and consistent. Strive to provide full and honest disclosure and stay within legal limits by not making any slanderous or libelous statements. Choose words carefully and cautiously to avoid being taken out of context. So the reason I bring this up is kind of what Councilmember Gannett alluded to. We have to be very careful how we interact when and if we do interact with the media. Because, like I said, this first story by itself could have been a nothing burger. Just, okay, they got it wrong. Anybody from staff could have then made an effort to make a correction if we so desired. But then a day later, to have the mayor be involved and see this story that gains a little traction and paints a contractor in a bad light, I just hope that doesn't open us up to exposure for any sort of litigation. And I'm not guessing that's the case. I don't know anything about that. But again, we have to be careful. And I'm bringing this up because I'm trying to hold us all accountable. I hope if I do anything wrong, that anybody will hold me accountable too. So I have to speak about it because I just don't like seeing things that basically effectively puts the city's seal of endorsement on misinformation or incorrect facts. I mean, I'm struggling hard to not send a note to these media folks to be like, here's the real story. We are not saving money based on this interlocal agreement. We don't even know fully what the cost is of this debris cleanup yet. It could be worse.
Not the agree, it's not the county's agreement, it's our agreement.
Right. So
It's definitely not saving us money.
we have to be careful is the message that I'm just trying to communicate to our group as a whole, and that we have that commitment and duty to make sure that the information that goes out to the public is accurate all the time. Because if it's not, then as Councilmember Gannett said, we're gonna start to fracture and lose trust in the public. So I'll end on that, and on a positive note. I just hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving week. If they're gonna go out and do any crazy shopping, it's not for me. I will be at home, sleeping through the night and into the morning and doing no shopping out in public. So that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you for that. I just have a couple things. I agree with the food truck. I love your idea. I would love to add that to maybe the tentative agenda and talk about it, but like Councilmember Knapp said, it's a lot of staff time, a lot of work. The other thing I wanted to bring is I attended the November 13th Great American Teach-In. I took care of the 5th grade for Forest Lakes Elementary and Oldsmar Elementary, and those kids had a lot of questions. We talked about fresh water, our sewer system, and reclaimed water, and they were very intrigued. And then I went over to the middle school and met with the 5th and 6th graders, and the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And the Florida League of Mayors is offering a $1,000 gift card to the students that do an essay. It's got to be only 250 words, which is short, but if I were mayor. And last year, I offered it to the school, and I got no responses at all. So this year, I added to the pot. I said, if you just do it, I'm taking you out for chicken wings. So we'll see what happens. On Monday, the 4th, we had an HOA board meeting, and the residents came out in full force complaining about a property that the city of Oldsmar owns on Tampa Road, which is right next door to Eastlake Oaks, complaining that the trees weren't trimmed and the sidewalks were covered. And I want to thank our city manager for taking care of that. It's beautiful. They've already sent emails and text messages, and they wanted me to make sure that I thanked you for that. They're very happy. Other than that, I have no other comments at this point. I'd like to get approval for the tentative agenda for December 3rd, 2024 council meeting. Does anyone wish to pull or add to that agenda?
Go ahead.
I'm ready, all right? You guys ready?
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the tentative agenda with the additions of item 2, Business of the Quarter Award presented to Casva Cafe. Discuss current city ordinances regarding potential food truck access. I'm not.
Beaming the words to you.
Something along the food truck line, you could take your liberties with that. And the last one would be excuse absence of Councilmember Gannon from special event fee work session. Don't include the vomiting part in there, but that was why I was not here.
We didn't hear about that.
Well, I told Steve.
Yeah. It's okay.
It was the meatloaf. Anyway, that's my motion.
So we have 3 items.
Second.
All right, got a motion, I have a second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
She told you about it, and now you're throwing up.